with airfare cost, being increasingly expensive, I know we're tempted most times to buy the cheapest ticket that we can find. Now, I'm going to give you reasons why you should think twice before you buy the cheapest ticket on that flight. Now, the first reason why you should not buy basic economy tickets is because with basic economy tickets come strict conditions. Now, some of it can be non-refundable tickets. It could be that this ticket doesn't allow you maybe to pick your seat ahead of your flight. It could be that if you miss your flight, it would not allow you the flexibility or maybe the free option to maybe make changes to that flight. So at the end of the day, you realize that yes, your ticket was cheap, but if anything goes wrong, you would find out that you would be unable, it would be more expensive for you to actually make any changes to that flight. Yes, I know you would say, okay, my trip is confirmed, nothing is going to happen. Yes, it is possible, but there are also other conditions that would make cheap basic tickets slightly unfriendly. And another reason it's because you will be boarding last. You will be the last among the last group of people to board the plane. Why is it important for you to board the plane early? I know maybe for you, you might think, oh, it does not matter. If you really don't care about the little things, yes, it does not matter. But if you do care about the little things, then these are things you want to take note of. If you buy the cheapest ticket on the airline, you will be grouped amongst the last set of people to board. Maybe you could be grouped, you will find out that maybe on your ticket you might find group 1, group 2, or you might find like zone 1, zone 2. You'll probably be like zone 9 or maybe the last. Now what happens is because it's that you will board last, meaning you have to wait for group 1 to group 1 and 2 will probably be the business class and the premium economy people, and then the other classes of economy tickets that maybe people who paid more, they get to board early. And then by the time you're boarding in group 9, you realize that most times you will not have space in the overhead cabin to put your hand luggage. And this happens when the flight is particularly full. Like I was traveling from Houston to Montego Bay, Jamaica, and then I bought the cheapest ticket. By the time we got to my group, I was like group 9, the last set to board. The overhead cabin, the airline staff started really screening people that had their carry-on bag. And I was traveling, this was a trip that I didn't have a checked-in luggage. So everything I had was in my carry-on bag, So because of that, they didn't allow me board with my carry-on bag. And it was particularly painful because I had my laptop, I had my camera, my professional camera, I had things that I had to pull out and then like hold everything, with me. I ended up having like 3 items I held with me because I had to, check in my bag. And of course I tried to explain to them that, look, this would be very uncomfortable for me. And of course they didn't listen to me, which I probably found I was offended. It was American Airlines. I was offended. And the reason why that was particularly hurtful was by the time I got to the aircraft, I realized they still had space. Even my seat, the seat beside me was empty. And then the overhead cabin had space. So my bag could have gone in there. Even other places were equally empty. Yes, I did try to go to get them to give me my bag. I went back and I'm like, I'm looking at my bag there, let me have it. And then the lady's like, oh, we've already tagged the bag, it's already in the system, it just has to go. Now imagine if I was in group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I probably would not have this problem because they won't start screening early. It's when maybe they have boarded a few groups, they realize that okay, people have more people have carry-on bag and people have more than one. Maybe when they get in there, that spot might be filled up and then they'll start screening once it gets to the end. So you see the little inconvenience that you have to deal with. Now, there's always a flexible option. When you have the basic option that maybe just says, okay, basic, non-refundable, there's always a more flexible option that allows you, most of the things that maybe the basic option would not allow you. So these are things you should pay attention when you're buying your flight ticket. I know most times we're tempted because when we're traveling on a budget, we're tempted to just maybe like select the cheapest one, but always read the fine print so you're sure that you're getting value. Most times you realize that the little extra that you would have paid, maybe the $100 extra or the $50 extra, just to maybe give you a more refundable option, might just be your best bet. I've bought a non-refundable ticket to the US before. Now the difference between the refundable option and the non-refundable option was maybe, let's just say, between $100 and $200. Now I opted for the non-refundable option because I thought my trip was confirmed. I thought that, okay, nothing could have changed, my plans. I was going for a training in the US, and I'm like, oh, okay, this would work for me. Now what happened was that my training was cancelled. My training was cancelled, and then I had a flight ticket that I could not touch, because the moment I touched that flight ticket, first, it was non-refundable, so I had to use it. And then two, if I was going to make any changes, like maybe change the date, I was going to be paying a lot more to change to another date. So because I was going to be paying both the change fees and then also the difference in the fare. Now imagine that I had a refundable option, then I would have just maybe gotten my money back, less whatever surcharge the airline would have deducted. Yes, I know sometimes we do travel on a very tight budget, but always take your time and read the fine print and assess for yourself what inconvenience you can handle. Also consider that, what amount of money you can also afford to lose, because yes, you can actually lose your money if you fail to take that flight. So I hope this has been useful. Leave your comments and let's chat. So have a good day.